Hello and welcome to the another tutorial of this Blockzie module. So in this particular sixth tutorial, we are going to design different stories. So in this tutorial, we are going to make some interesting stories using different characters and backgrounds and coding in Blockzie. So this is our table of content in which first part we are going to make a story of visiting a beach with a friend. In the second part we are going to make a story of lost fish. And in the third part we are going to learn about the coding of the story between a turtle and a rabbit. So this is our first part in which we are going to work on beach with friend, in which we are going to need these three sprites and these two backdrops. This is code for Abby and this is for Ivory and this is code of Ivory walking. So after walking on beach with friend, we are going to see our second story and that is lost fish. So in this particular story, we are going to need these three sprites. These three are different kinds of fishes and these five backgrounds. So these are the things which we are going to need for this particular story to make. And the code for this fish is something like this. Code of this kind of fish is this. Code for the third fish is here. So this is our second story and we'll make this in Blockzie. After two interesting stories of working with a friend on beach and a lost fish story, let's start our third story, which is the turtle and the rabbit story. So these are the two sprites which we are going to use in our story. First one is a rabbit and the another one is a tortoise. And these are the different 8 backgrounds which we are going to need for this story. This is the code of sprite 1, which is rabbit, and this is the code for this tortoise. So let's make it in Blockzie. Here, the using this block, the sprite Abby will say hi for 2 seconds. After that, we need this sprite to wait a little bit. So first it says hi and it will wait for another sprite to react, right? For that we are adding delay over here. So after that it will ask again that how are you? So that particular thing is going to be done by this. And in this say block I will change the text and I'll write as how are you. So it will say for 3 seconds that how are you. So now my sprite will say how are you. Right? After that what I need my sprite to wait a little bit. It is asking the another sprite how are you, so it will wait for some time to the other sprite to respond, right? So now let us see for the coding of our second sprite. So for this second sprite, what we need is we need it to appear when I click on green flag, right? So it should be there in this room. So I'll use this show block. Also, the size of both the sprites should be same, right? So I have used this sprite as 125% of size. So I'll use the same size as 125 percentage, right? And after that, I will use that switch backdrop to bedroom 2. Okay, so switch backdrop. So as I click on this should be bedroom 2. And here is show icon. And the costume of this particular sprite should be in its B position, not replying mode. First is it is saying something, and this is the normal one. So for that, first I will choose that my sprite should be in ivory B position, and it will wait for some seconds because right now the sprite 1 is saying something. It is saying hi. So for that particular moment it will wait. This second sprite will wait in its B costume. After 2 seconds it will say hello, right? First this sprite Abby said hi, and after that it will it will say hi, and I will use this block for that. So now my sprite number 2 is saying hi again for 2 seconds. Now here what number of delays we are adding needs to be calculated. For example, we have used right now this wait block for one time and for second time also. So total delay is for 3 seconds, and total run time for until now is 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2. So one needs to calculate to maintain sequence of each and every dialogue. After that, this sprite has asked that how are you to sprite number 2. So now it's turn for this sprite to give a reply, right? But before that it will have to wait. So we will add wait block, and for how many seconds? So for this much seconds it will have the sprite number 2 has to wait. Okay, so for 3 seconds it is saying how are you for 3 seconds. So for 3 seconds the sprite 2 has to wait. So I will add 3 wait 3 as a delay, and after that it will say, or it will give its reply as I am good, as I am good. Okay, so this is the reply, and for 2 seconds it will give its reply. Now let us first see how is this going until now. So first it is saying hi, then after it saying hi, after there's a saying how are you, and now it is replying I am good. So until now it is going smooth. Now let us go further, and after that we will switch the costume of our sprite too. Okay, so now I am switching its costume and switching it to B, B to A. Here we have used costume B. Now we are going to switch the sprites 2's costume to A. Okay, but before this we are going to add a little bit of delay just to make it more clear. So I'll add wait of 2 seconds, and after that it will switch its costume. Now let us see the programming for this particular sprite named Abby. So we have reached until question answer. First it said hi. After it said hi, after that Abby asked Ivory that how she is, and after that she replied that she is good. Okay, now we need to change costume of this sprite also. So we will change its costume, and we will switch its costume to C. So after waiting for some or 2 seconds, it will switch its costume to costume C, and it will say that let's go for a walk. Let's go for a walk to the another sprite for 2 seconds, and it will wait for the other sprite to respond. So we will add wait block for 2 seconds. Now let us see what the another sprite is replying. right? So now this sprite will reply. The sprite number one has said that let's go for a walk. Then now it's time for Ivory to reply. So now we will add a say block and say let's go. Yes, okay. Let us go for 2 seconds. And after this, the sprite will also wait for some second. And saying this, and after saying this particular yes, approving a walk, it will go in hide mode. And it will wait a second. After that, it will switch its costume to B, and we will make it size to the default size, which is 100%. And now we will see that what changes we need to make in this sprite. Okay, so for some time we need both the sprite in hide position. So we will add hide also here, that both the sprite needs to stay in hide mode while this background changes to beach. Okay, so first we had this background of bedroom, and after some time the background will be switched over to beach, and for this transition period both the sprite will stay in hide mode. So we will switch. It will stay in hide mode for 1 second, and hence I have added this delay because the sprite is in hide mode for 1 second. And after that we will switch the backdrop to beach rio. And doing that we also need delay because this transition needs to delay, and we will add this delay. And we need this costume of the sprite A or Abby to be changed to D again. So we will switch its costume and set its size to standard size. Now after switching its costume and setting its standard size, we will again show the sprite on the screen. So this was the coding for Abby. Now let's change the some part for making it clear for the walking. So we have set size, we have changed its costume. Now it's time for us to broadcast a message. So we are going to make a broadcast, and that broadcast is show. So we are going to make a broadcast message which is show. So we have added a message like show, and after that now what we need to do is we are going to add a coding for this sprite, because as we know that this sprite doesn't have a walking appearance, it has only these two positions, and hence we need this sprite for a walking illusion, because it has this much appearances which will give an illusion of walking. So we will use this also. So now let us see the coding for this particular sprite. Now what happens is this sprite should be in hide position until these two sprites not stop their talking and doesn't reach to the beach, right? When they are in the bedroom, we doesn't need this sprite to see. Okay, this sprite should be in hide position whenever they are discussing and deciding to go for a walk. Until then, this is in hide position, and after that it should appear on screen. So for that we are going to need to hide this particular sprite. Okay, so we will use this hide, and we will hide this for how many seconds is first, as we click on green flag, it needs to be in hide mode. And after some time, when it reaches to beach section, it should be in a show position, right? So for that we have added a broadcast message, right? So as soon as your broadcast show, and after that this particular sprite needs to show or appear on screen. Hence we will need when I receive this which message. So when I receive this show message, means this sprite, I means this sprite, when this sprite receive message of show, then this particular sprite needs to appear on screen. And the size of this particular sprite should be its standard size, and it should be at some point of here. Okay, so we will denote its starting position also. So we will give it starting values at x is equals to say minus 33 and y is equals to minus 32. So we are denoting, or we are giving its initial position. And after that what we need is we need this sprite to start walking. So for that we are going to need to code this sprite as a walking. So for walking we need this move block, we need this next costume block, and we also need this change size block, because as it walks it needs to look like familiar, and it will change its size by -2, and also it will change its y coordinate with 2 to make it look more realistic. And we will add a wait block just to give whole process a delay and to make it more visible. So we will add zero point 0.2 seconds of delay. And we need to hold this process in repeat mode to make this sprite look like walking. So we will add this repeat block, and this repeat block needs to be done for 25 times, right? So it should be repeated for 25 times. So let's just attach all these blocks and check if our coding is done or not. So we need to just, okay, we need to change and we need to make it as a next costume. So it is going to change its costume, and one by one it will give us a feel of walking. And also we need to say hi for 1 second only, and I am good for 1 second, and that would be perfect. So this is all about three interesting different stories. In first part we have seen a story of walking on beach with a friend. In the second part, we learned the coding for the lost fish. And in the third and final part, we have seen the story of a turtle and a rabbit. I hope you find it good and you liked it. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next tutorial.